I hope everybody's doing good. Sorry it's taken me so long to get another video out here. I was out on the road for about 6 months this last time, so it's taken a little bit longer than I wanted, but I did have some information that I just wanted to get out. I'm going to discuss a few different things. The main thing I want to talk about is the color of Ahia, the Most High. Now, I've presented the color of Yeshua, or Christ, and even though it doesn't seem to be sinking in, if you don't want to accept the fact that Yeshua is black, then that's on you. Now, actually, the problem lies in these Christian churches because they're not teaching the color of Ahia. They want to say things like, oh, he's all colors, or like the Jehovah's Witnesses say, he's a spirit, he doesn't have a color, which, yes, he is a spirit, but he still has an image because he made Adam in that image. Or the one that I hear all the time is, well, what does it matter what color he is? You know, they love to say that about Yeshua as well. But obviously it matters to everyone because nobody's teaching what color he is. And for those of you that don't know, the Bible does actually give a description of Ahia. And when I was a Jehovah's Witness, I had never seen this description. I had no idea it was in there. But before I get into this, I do have something that I want to bring out to the so-called white race. I want to read some scriptures from 1 John. The first one is 1 John 4:20, which I'm pretty sure most everybody's going to be familiar with. It says, if a man say, I love God, and hateth his brother, he is a liar. For he that loveth not his brother whom he hath seen, how can he love God whom he hath not seen? So if you guys want to say, oh, I love God, but yet you hate the so-called black race, which are your brother, then you're a liar and you don't love God. And I also want to read 1 John 2, verses 8 through 11. Again, a new commandment I write unto you, which thing is true in him and in you, because the darkness is past, and the true light now shineth. He that saith he is in the light, and hateth his brother, is in darkness even until now. He that loveth his brother abideth in the light, and there is none occasion of stumbling in him. But he that hateth his brother is in darkness, and walketh in darkness, and knoweth not whither he goeth, because that darkness hath blinded his eyes. So, this true light is starting to shine. And once again, if you're hating the so-called black race, then you're in this darkness. And it's actually your hatred that's keeping you in the darkness and blinding you from seeing this truth. And I also want to read, still in 1 John, chapter 3, and verse 15. Whosoever hateth his brother is a murderer, and ye know that no murderer hath eternal life abiding in him. So notice, he didn't say that you had to kill anybody. He just said if you hate your brother, you are a murderer. And I wanted to put that out there because when I read that, I just thought that was pretty heavy. And even though I know this information is not going to reach the majority because of this blindness, I still want to put this information out here. And I'm going to start in Revelation chapter 4, and I'm going to read verses 2 and 3, and then we'll skip over to Daniel chapter 7 and verse 9. I'm actually going to go ahead and start getting into the description of the Most High. So, Revelation 4, verses 2 and 3. Actually, hold up. Let me start in verse 1, because it was actually Christ that came and got John. He says, come up hither, and I will shew thee things which must be hereafter. Okay? So, it's actually Christ speaking to John, and John's getting this vision. And immediately I was in the Spirit, and behold, a throne was set in heaven, and one sat on the throne. And he that sat was to look upon like a jasper and a sardine stone, which I believe that's how you say it. It's also a sard stone. And there was a rainbow round about the throne in sight like unto an emerald. Now, flip over to Daniel chapter 7 and verse 9. I beheld till the thrones were cast down, and the Ancient of Days did sit, whose Ancient of Days is the Most High, whose garment was white as snow, and the hair of his head like the pure wool. His throne was like the fiery flame, and his wheels as burning fire. So notice there in Revelation, it said that the Most High was to look upon like a jasper and a sard stone. Now the color of these stones range from a reddish brown or ruddy to almost black. So if you take that and then you add the woolly hair, which you guys can't come on here now and say, oh, it's talking about the color and not the texture. I've had a million people come on and say that. But here it actually is talking about the texture because it says pure wool. So when you put these two together, okay, the color of anywhere from a ruddy to black, and add the woolly hair, what do you get? And actually, they were pretty much right on when they had Morgan Freeman playing God in this movie. And this is actually just even more proof that Yeshua or Christ is black. Because in John 14:9, Christ said that he that has seen me has seen the Father. And if you notice something, in all these descriptions of the Most High, of Christ, they all use stones or metals that are the same color as the so-called black race. Because even though you guys want to call them black, they're not. They're actually just different shades of brown. And also in Acts chapter 13 and verse 1, we see that the prophets were also black. Acts chapter 13 and verse 1, it says, Now there were in the church that was at Antioch certain prophets and teachers, as Barnabas, and Simeon that was called Niger. Now I have to be careful with this, but that Niger is actually where they get the so-called N-word that is used today. And you can look that up. In the Wiktionary, it pops right up when you type in that Niger. And it's actually a conspiracy because a lot of people want to try to say that dark and black are two separate things. I have a publication from the Jehovah's Witness. It's there, Inside on the Scriptures. And when you look up that word Niger, it says from the Latin meaning dark, comma, black. So they're trying to say that those are two separate things when in actuality they mean the same thing. And if you look in the dictionary, and I'm just going to use the dictionary off my iPhone, when you look up the word black, it says extremely dark, of or belonging to a racial group having dark skin. Okay, that's the word black. Now, if you look up the word dark, it says having skin rich in melanin pigment. Now, if your skin is rich in melanin, then you are what's considered the so-called black race.